All right, hold on. I'm gonna put some magnesium here real quick. Can I get? Let me make sure I can hear you, Darren.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. All right. Turn my sound up. All right. We're good to go, Jose. So I'm gonna hit live. I'm putting some magnesium in my water. I don't know if you take magnesium, but if this is magnesium citrate, and so hold on, the live stream started and it's taken a little bit. I might need to reboot my internet. Give me a second. All right, hold on. All right, cool. We're live. Hold on, I got to plug my computer in. Welcome, everybody. I apologize for getting started a little bit late. I'm still working on that. It's a disrespectful habit of mine. I used to make excuses for it, and now I just admit it is what it is. It's extremely disrespectful to people's time. But I am getting better, and I'm getting better by training my brain to learn to be on time. And I'm working on. Hey, Mike, good to see you. As you guys are coming in, say hello. Feel free to give Darren Little a shout out. If you want to give him a shout out on Facebook, Kim Claver, Nate, Jerry, Mike, great to have you on. Paul Gardner, great to have you on. He's going to be down at my Bitcoin Mastermind going on next month. I don't know if I've told you about that, Darren. I don't think so, but I did a live stream on it a little bit earlier today. I'm doing a mastermind next month. I want to start a $1 billion digital currency company that won't get shut down by the SEC. Doing a mastermind down there. Let me just see who else is coming on. We got Peter Sorensen, welcome. Anthony, welcome. Jose, of course, he's running the video. Wanted to welcome you, Jose. We're actually doing this on Zoom, and so I got the Zoom recording. Oh, hold on, let me hit record on it. Oh, wait, Jose, if you could record this on your end too. So we have a good recording as well if it doesn't come across clear on Facebook. So Jose's running this Zoom. Robert, welcome on. And I'm starting to do that. I'm starting to assemble the $1 billion team, and that's why I've got Jose on here. He's helping with the live stream quality, and that's why I've got Darren Little on here. I'm going to bring in Darren Little's mind. Darren Little actually he's had a lot of success raising funding for businesses of his. He's raised millions of dollars in funding, and a lot of people, and I'm going to talk straight for a second. Darren, is it okay if I talk straight? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I hear some crap about you sometimes, from some people. Most of the time when I hear crap, it's because of jealousy, right? And I learned a while ago that if you don't got haters, then you don't got lovers. You know what I mean? And so you want both. And so the thing the thing is, it's fine, right? But the reality is that I had a conversation with Darren Little about it was about a week and a half ago or a week ago. And I was really impressed. And the reason I was impressed is because Darren has customers who are not in network marketing and not in the online make money space, who are going out and doing things like doing $1 million a year in sales, getting consulting contracts, raising funding, doing $100,000 in a month in sales on a realtor on Facebook. And I mean, I don't think you even do any paid marketing, do you? So Mark Eves, welcome on. Peter, Poe, Naeem, welcome on. Lots of people are coming on here. David Bell, welcome on. And so, I've been really impressed because, I've heard some people and they're like, oh, Darren Little, he's just vicious or whatever. Like, I look at your stuff and you're just giving value all day. And, you've got your own problems in your business that you work on solving and that you pay for training to help you overcome. But what I see is really excellent content. I see strategies that are working for new people, which is, I think the great hallmark of a strategy is not whether a new person could do all of it because they're new. It's whether if they implement it, they get more sales like really fast. Within a month of the training, they're getting more sales, preferably like within a week. And I see you getting like new people going out and making $1,000 in a day, and they're getting customers and they're selling product. You know what I mean? So can you talk to me just about some of the results that you've gotten and why people should pay attention to this episode of the $1 Billion Comeback?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Dave, thanks a lot for having me on. I've got a huge amount of respect for you in the industry. You've done some really incredible things. So, it's a pleasure and honor to be here. The first thing that I really go over with my brand new students is that there's really two realities that exist parallel, simultaneously. Over here, you have everything you want, and over here, you have everything that you don't want. And you have to be very, very aware of what's going on through your head, because concentrated, repetitive, focused thought creates an emotion. And the emotion in your physiology is broadcasting and communicating with the electrons. They're smaller than the atoms and molecules, and that's forging the reality. So there's these two distinct realities of how people actually talk to themselves, and we're all in a battle. We're all in an internal battle with ourselves. And kind of ironically enough, flashback to the past, fight the forces of evil. The forces of evil are truly in our head. And if we don't believe that we'll be able to hit whatever our intention is or whatever our milestone is, we won't do it. Okay. So belief is a big part of whether or not you're even going to be able to make even $1 online. You have to believe it. You have to actually trick your own subconscious mind to believe the future reality that you want is already in your physiology now. It's kind of like lassoing your future physiology into your body. So what I typically do is I start off by helping people understand their participation in the reality. How are they actually creating the reality in the first place? Because you have to take charge of your thoughts, words, and emotions in order to master this, so that you start getting what you want instead of what you don't want. So self-talk is a big part of that. And whether or not you're thinking, writing, speaking about the reality that you do want, or are you focused on the victim reality of everything not working? So that's really sort of the starting point, where people have to take responsibility, that they're the one that's actually creating the pushback. They're the one that's creating the blocker in their reality. And until they change their belief of what the end result's going to be, they'll spin their wheels. They'll spin their wheels in any type of a sales type industry. Now, we have people that are 17 years old that made $35,000 the very first month in business. So what's different about that kid than everybody else that can't make any money when they first start? They were just coachable. They didn't try and reinvent the wheel. They just followed exactly what we taught them to do. And cha-ching, boom, 50 grand, 6 weeks, their first 6 weeks in business. So,
yeah. And the cool thing that I see about this is, and this is what I think a lot of people don't get about your strategies, right? It's like some of these people are in your business opportunities, but some of them are in other business opportunities, and some of them aren't in business opportunities, and they're selling things like houses. So this is not just working for like the little business opportunity space, which is my criticism of a lot of the ways that we've done things, especially myself. I was the worst at this. And so that's why I can criticize it, because I'm criticizing myself, right? Is that a lot of the things that we do in the biz op space, it's like, oh, here's our little strategy to get more people, to get more people, to get more people, to get more people. And that's the only environment this will ever work ever, right? But your stuff excuse the screaming in the background there, I got kids. And so your stuff is like working for like average normal people in different kinds of businesses, selling high ticket, low ticket, every kind of ticket products. And it's working. So can you tell me a little bit about, I said the Darren Little method, which I like, right? I'm saying that with everyone, like the Ray Higdon method, the Darren Little method, Dave Wood method, right? David Wood method, and using the hashtags, right? So can you tell us a little bit about how the Darren Little method works? Like, I know you can't share all of it because you've got courses and masterminds and people pay high ticket prices to learn these strategies. I actually, as a testimonial to you, some of our leaders I had a bunch of people take your, law of attraction stuff and implement it and become top earners in Power Network. Like it happened actually quite often. It happened, right? And not everybody, but the people that actually implemented your stuff, I mean, they actually went and they made money and they learned to sell and they were selling on Facebook and stuff like that. So I got to give you a huge shout out for that, because you've actually made me quite a lot of money. from your strategies too, without even me knowing what they are, right? So tell us a little bit about the Darren Little method, how it works, and how somebody can use it to make more money on Facebook.
Sure. Well, the first thing that you've got to really understand is that any type of success, doesn't matter what it is, any type of industry, it really gets down to peak performance. Well, what's peak performance? Personal development. So, motivation, inspiration, positive quotes, that's sort of the foundation to start to bring in the right type of buyers, because
Mm-hmm.
people that are typically on a path of success or on the path of peak performance and personal development, they're looking for a better life. They're looking to get ahead. They're looking to get the right mindset. So, personal development, motivation, inspiration, and positive quotes is the core of the foundation of this concept. But it goes a little bit further than that. People have to understand that if you really want to build rapport with somebody without talking to them, you have to do what's called sharing your naked soul. And this is where storytelling comes in. This is where, having things that had an impact on your personal life. I remember this time and I was 10 years old and I went fishing with my dad, and it's really on life reflection on what were some of the major milestones in your own life that had an impact, that through telling that story in copy, you take people up and down through this emotional roller coaster. So just with your copy, you're actually changing people's state. And that's one thing that's very powerful about social media, is that if you can learn how to master changing people's state without talking to them, by the time you actually do talk to them, they already feel like they know you. Like you're to them, you're already their friend. So the course starts with personal development. But if a person does not tap into their true naked soul, then there's a barrier between them and their prospect. But when you fully go into your naked soul and you tell stories and you show pictures of your family and you're you're doing outings and adventures, and you have that type of freedom, doesn't matter what type of career that you're in, people actually feel like they're part of your life. So as an example, I've been working on a renovation at home for about the last 4 months. Well, I share the evolution of the renovation, so people feel like they're actually part of my life as they're going through, and they're watching this transformation take place. So, that's truly the naked soul. So a lot of people are afraid to do that, and truly the most successful people, I believe, they really got nothing to hide, right? They just share their life. And if you're prepared to do that, you become more like approachable. You become more like them. They realize that you're just a regular person just like they are. So you become more relatable, right? And people start reaching out to you a lot more without any type of barrier in between you and between them. Now, the thing with social media is that even if you got the best motivation from Tony Robbins, right, at some point in time, you're going to get bored of it, right? It's like watching personal development for 18 hours a day, every single day. At some point in time, you're going to want to watch a comedy. You're going to want to watch something that's a drama, right? You're going to want.
Hold on. Like if you talk about that, comedy is personal development, and this is what a lot of people, they don't think, right? It's like, well, how do you get good at presenting? You watch great presenters. How do you get better at telling jokes? You watch great joke tellers, right? So if you think about comedy as a part of your personal development, you're going to get better. You're going to get better at comedy by watching comedy artists. That's going to make you a better public speaker, because everybody wants to listen to somebody more who tells jokes. I used to listen to comedy for like 20-30 minutes before I walked out on stage.
Exactly. Right. And
Yeah.
So much of this strategy, Dave, has to do with understanding vibrational resonance, and that every emotion carries with it a different vibration on the scale. And so if you throw in entertainment, comedy, trivia, controversy, social proof on your success, social proof on your team's success, adventure with your family, adventure with your team. And we use something called piggyback marketing, where we'll piggyback off of hot news items right now, or a movie's playing that's really hot. We'll do a campaign that piggybacks off of that campaign because it's already getting so much awareness out in the marketplace. So it's a way that you can actually save a lot of money, because some movie might be spending $100 million on their ad campaign. So we piggyback off that, or we might piggyback off the Super Bowl, or we might piggyback off of the election that's going on. I did a piggyback campaign off the Donald Trump campaign. I added 4,000 followers to my Facebook wall.
Awesome.
Just in that one little period of time. So, there's a specific formula, and it can apply to any type of industry. So we have realtors that used to go out and do the conventional buying leads, sending out notepads or fridge magnets or things like that. And they weren't making the type of money that they wanted to make. So when they started implementing this formula that I use with everything else that I do, now took them 9 months. They made an additional $100,000 in commissions. But now it's all incoming inquiries for listings, for selling other properties, and doing co-listings. Now here's the irony of it. The lady that started off as a realtor using this formula, she actually her biggest fear was actually doing public speaking, right? So once she started to implement the formula and had all this interaction that started coming in, then the real estate office asked her, like, what the heck are you doing? Like, how do you get all of these people interested in your content? And so they actually started to look to her as an expert to train all of the rest of the people in her office on how to master social media strategies. So she kind of got like pulled into this thing that was kind of her biggest fear. And she ended up, being now a speaker and a trainer on this whole concept of how to master social media. And it was because of her results, right? And that's really how it works in any type of business. The leader typically blazes the trail, gets the results, and then comes back to the rest of the people and say, well, here's how I did that. So she's now actually doing seminars on how to help other realtors to master this formula to be able to 10x their income and their real estate commissions.
Right. Yeah, and this is really interesting, because so now she's helping realtors, and now she's making money from selling to the realtors, and she's making more money selling houses, right? See, that's a good. Now, just so you know, we're on a trial account here with Jose. He's trying to upgrade it, but if it doesn't get upgraded, we're gonna get booted off, and then everybody here, if we get booted off in 2 minutes, we'll just start a part 2. And it'll take us a minute to get it going. So if we get interrupted, just look for the part 2 on my Facebook. It's fine. And we'll be right back. I'm letting everybody here know in advance. And so you guys can let people know in the comments, if that happens. And so you've got people, Jose, let's just start a new one, because it says that we got less than a minute, and I don't want to get cut off in the middle of a thought. So let me just get a link from, Jose, if you want to set up another link from your account and get it to me and Darren, and then we'll be right back on, and we'll just start part 2. I don't think, Jose, that you can continue this with on the same. Can you continue it on the same live stream? You're muted out. I don't even know if you can hear me. Let me send him a message here real quick. Hold on. Hey, Jose, can you hear me? Let's see if he might get it upgraded. Hold on a second. I'll just call him. Sorry about this, Darren.
That's right.
technical hurdles. Good pattern interrupt, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, Jose, can you continue the same live stream and switch the Zoom to a new Zoom link? Okay, do you want me to set up the link? I could do it. And we'll just continue the same broadcast then? Okay, yeah, just gonna continue it then. So guys, we're gonna stay on here on the broadcast. I'll be right back. Give me a sec there. I'm gonna call you again. Hold on. Guys, tell me online when you can hear the sound. Okay. Cool. All right. So guys, I'm waiting for feedback. Tell me if you can hear the sound, and share this on Facebook for me to give Darren a shout out. It'll take a minute because there's a little bit of a time delay. So let's just keep going, Darren. I'm just gonna assume that there's sound, and hold on. Or Jose, can you go on my Facebook and just play it real quick and see if that you can hear it? There'll be a little bit of delay. So just let me know when we do that. So let's continue on, and I'm going to post the replay, Darren, and that way anybody who missed anything will they'll get it later. And so you covered some really good stuff about target marketing, right? And how to like target your proper market, how to find out what they want, how to position yourself as an authority, give them value. And then I was talking about that's really what attraction marketing is, where magnetic marketing, which is where magnetic sponsoring came from, which is why I was talking about this I've been talking about this on my Facebook, because the reason Mike Dillard left the niche is because it's tiny, right? The attraction online attraction network marketing niche is tiny, right? Ray Higdon actually has a bigger business model where Ray Higdon is actually serving the greater network marketing industry, which is a bigger small niche, right? Network marketing industry is like $150 billion a year or something like that. So it's big, but it's not gigantic, right? Like a gigantic niche would be the companies or the product markets those companies are playing in, like travel, nutrition, healthcare, digital currency, stuff like that. Those are trillion-dollar markets. Trillion-dollar markets are huge markets, and it's way easier to do target marketing, as an example, in product markets than it is opportunity markets. Because if you're doing target marketing, this is something that I've been bringing to the marketplace. If you're doing attraction marketing and you think about, I need a niche to target, I need a place to advertise, I need leads to get, and I need not everybody in the entire niche to know how to compete with me, right? Well, the best way to do that is to not focus on BizOp, right? And until you're good. You focus on BizOp when you're good and you're already making money, because that's what BizOp market responds to. The BizOp market doesn't respond to, I'm new, just starting out, hello, right? Nice to meet you. Join my team to be famous with me when I'm rich. Like, you will be rich if you join me, all right? And so that's not what they respond to. They respond to results, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah. So so that's what you do. You go after a bigger market. So how could somebody identify a market and then find out what their customers want? Like, what are some good methods to help them through their thinking process to make it to where they can target the right customers for their business?
Well, it's really putting yourself into the position of your buyer, right? So, you can talk to people that are, looking for whatever it is that you're doing, and just interview them. Those are the best. That's the fastest and easiest way to get data, is by finding out what the person's struggles are. What's the pain that they're going through right now? And then your campaign, your copywriting is going to speak to that pain. So that's going to pull them in, right? So, but it's not difficult to do, right? It's not difficult to do it at all. You just, you got to be social. You know what I mean? You get a lot of your test research data just done by, doing small little focus groups with particular people that are potential buyers, or just asking somebody, who do they know that is whatever, looking for whatever your type of product or service is, and just talk to those people. That's one thing that people just don't get about business. I'm telling you. Yeah. Business is about relationships. And, if you really want to make big money, you got to stop hiding behind your computer. Truthfully. You got it, like, whether it's an interactive Zoom broadcast or a Google Hangout or getting with somebody on Skype. I really teach people how to use social media to get interaction, but your true goal is to get them off of Facebook. Get them on here, get them on Skype, get them on a Zoom broadcast, get them on something that's interactive, where you can actually have an interactive conversation with that person, because it's all about a relationship. And this is what creates a relationship, right?
Right.
You can do it to a degree if you're good on video, or if you can make clone copies of you where you're the real you. You know, like a lot of people will go on video and they kind of put this persona, this mask on it. It's not really their true naked soul. It's not really them. So they don't really connect with their people, kind of like, like they don't actually connect with the person with the clone copy, because it's not really the real person. Like, it's not how they would have a conversation sitting across the, you know, having a cup of coffee with the person.
Yeah.
That takes time. That takes skill to be able to, you know, feel comfortable in this.
Well, I got a better way of doing that. It takes time. If it takes skill, if you're trying to sit in front of the camera and do a sales video, right? That's hard. And that takes, you got to know how to anchor. You got to know how to set your energy. You got to know how to plan correctly. You got to learn how to operate unconsciously. You got to be good at law of attraction stuff. I mean, there's a lot of little moving parts in going and doing that. But a better way of doing it, Darren, is like what we're doing right now, right? Like, I'm sitting here, what am I doing? I'm asking, think about what I'm doing, like all the perspectives of it, right? I destroyed my brand, right, through bad decisions, and then through stuff that I wasn't aware of, right? Because it goes, you know, I'm not going to talk about that anymore because it's the past. But like stuff I wasn't aware of, bad decisions for a long period of time, not listening for a long period of time. So now what do I got to do? I got to restore trust in the marketplace. I got to go out there and speak a message my target market wants. I got to demonstrate that I'm really mature, right? And then what I got to do is I got to create trust and authority. Now, how do you create trust and authority? Well, part of it goes in what you were saying, right? Like, you get people to personal conversation. Now, why do you get them to a personal conversation? You get them to a personal conversation, number one, so they hear your voice. Number two, so you can listen to them. Because if you listen to them, then you're going to find out about your target market, right? Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Wise words from Stephen Covey, right? But then also, in addition to that, what you're doing is you're doing the pickup artist principle, right? And what do pickup artists do? Well, then they go meet a girl, they meet her at a bar, and then they take her to the dance floor, then they take her back to the bar, then they take her upstairs in the bar, and then they take her downstairs in the bar, because the more they change environments, the longer that girl feels like, right, she's known this guy, right? And then what do? They switch bars. Then what do? They do the same thing in that bar, then they switch bars 3 more times, and then, you know, they take her home, which I don't agree with, because I don't think this is a best place to meet like a spouse, right? And this is just my personal thing. Like, people do their thing, right? I'm not getting in the way of that. But like, I don't agree with what they're using it for. But the technology's good. So everybody wants to stick on Facebook. But like, what you should do is move people from Facebook to Instagram to Skype, right, to a Zoom hangout, right? And always be unpredictable, because if you're unpredictable on where you're going to connect with them, right, it's the same thing. When unpredictable men are attractive, unpredictable business owners are attractive. Be unpredictable, like Donald Trump is unpredictable. That's why he's so great at marketing. He's so unpredictable. He won't let his secrets out, right? And so what happens is you never know what he's going to do next.
Here's the thing on that you nailed. Okay, if you can master this one thing,
Marketing is so unpredictable.
How to change people's state, and the whole concept of what you're talking about the pickup artist, is multiple environments, multiple state changes, and that's actually what helps a person feel like they've known you a long time. How many times can you change the person's state? Well, on social media, you can change the person's state with images. You can change the person's state with color. You can change the person's state with copy, with video. And, you know, it's that what you're talking about. It's like unpredictability. Nobody knows what's going to be next, right? So that brings the people in more, right? And if you stay kind of within this content parameter that I'm talking about, and also take that same concept and put it into a personal development group, then you have a contained area where you're interacting with people. And you're actually, it's like the difference between being out walking around in public, which would be the regular Facebook, and then having a group, which is them walking into a building, right? So groups are actually very, very powerful on Facebook, because they don't cost anything, and they can go viral on their own if you provide value, right? So I use the same principle in a personal development group, and that can generate like thousands and thousands of free leads for you if you have good content in there, because all of the people in the group become your promoters, right? So they're all sending people to your group.
Right. Well, that's the value of having a great product, right? Like, we used to say things like the product doesn't matter, blah, 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 which is only true until you run out of people to recruit for a little while, right? Because the whole market gets saturated. Then all of a sudden you wish you had customers, right? Because the customers would have stabilized that business, and your $200,000 a month residual income would still be there if you weren't only feeding from the self-conniving business opportunity market, because that's how the business opportunity market is. And it's a tiny, tiny market, right? And nobody wants to admit that, but it's tiny, right? And so in any case, you know, I lost track of my thought there for a second, to be honest with you. But this is like really, 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 really good stuff. So I got a question for you. How would you recommend? We have about 5 minutes left, and then I may be done. But like, how would you recommend a new person get started if they were just getting started today in their business? And I'm going to put my video off for like, I'll be back in like 35 seconds. Just start talking. Let's talk to the new people here for a little bit. That cool?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first thing that they have to do is they've got to understand the content formula. But when you got a brand new account, brand new Facebook account, you have to give your people that are interacting with you a little bit extra attention. You have to be able to, you know, hey, thanks for popping by, Tom. Good to see you, Mary. There's got to be a little bit extra that starts the process, because what it is on social media that starts to forge relationships is multiple touches. And you've got to realize that a relationship typically takes multiple connections, multiple exposures to be able to get a relationship started. It's typically between 5 and 12. 5 and 12 connections or exposures is truly the peak zone on when people start to become buyers. You know, so they really have to understand that the difference between, you know, like a conventional selling Canon copiers to our industry, it's not just book an appointment, pitch your deal, deal with the objections, and close. It's a lot more casual. It's you know, it happens over time, almost like osmosis of putting on suntan lotion. You take the blob, you go like that, it's still a white streak. You got to rub it back and forth until it absorbs into the skin. Very, very similar. So the first thing would be to learn the content formula, but to go a little bit of the extra mile to be connecting with those people that are actually interacting with them. And you know, if somebody makes a comment, try to comment under their comment so that there's some engagement all the way down your whole wall, right? With each post that you put out. The next thing is to get a personal development group going so that you're the leader, you're the one that is the content provider for that particular group. That instantly positions you as a leader if you put out good personal development content. But the thing really is having something that hits all companies. Okay, so we use a product called Speed Recruiting because it teaches people a lot of these basic concepts on what is recruiting in the first place. How do you even recruit somebody into a business? Because it doesn't have anything to do with the business. It doesn't have anything to do with the products or the comp plan or a lot of these things that people actually think that it has to do with. It has to do with your prospect. It has to do with their vision, their dream, their pain, their problem, and their passion. So if the person doesn't know what to actually say to prospects, they got a problem. You know, if a person's not been properly trained to understand what recruiting really is, even if I was to hand you 20,000 leads, if you're coming from the features and benefits pitching people, you still get this boom, 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 or pushback, right? So you have to understand really about the polarity in this exchange, right? Now, if I'm not pitching anything, if I'm not selling anything, if I'm not trying to convince you that I have what you need, and I'm actually finding what it is that you're looking for, what has you looking for more income in the first place? So it really is about your prospect. So that is language that people need to learn, just like anything. These are learned skills. But in the event that they actually understand the psychology behind that, let's say that I'm with a weight loss company and I just go, you know, weight loss. I just lost all the people in prepaid legal, all the people with skincare company. But if I had started off with something that everybody needs on the front end, now I'm going to capture the whole industry and give them value. And then after that, I'm going to have an opportunity to talk about a business opportunity after that. So the business opportunity is typically on the back end, not the front end, right? Which a lot of people don't understand. They're out pitching their particular company and they don't realize they're literally losing like 95% of the whole market by doing that, and not doing something generic on the front. You're muted, Dave.
No, this is killer stuff, dude. And we're about coming up on the hour here, and I'm going to try to keep these relatively contained because I just don't need to go on for like hours and hours and hours and hours. So there's a couple things that I would recommend. Like, so let me just ask here before we get into what's next. And by the way, tomorrow, guys, on the $1 Billion Comeback, we're going to have Vitaly Dubinin, who Vitaly owns the biggest, I think the biggest digital currency system that's in the space. And I went and I looked at that system, and it is excellently put together. And anybody that is promoting those things, I do think that you got to be careful, right? Because of what I would mentioned on my broadcast earlier. If you guys looked at my videos for the Digital Currency Mastermind, I've got a bunch of people that hit me up about that, and there's only 25 spots. And the price is increasing as Bitcoin is increasing. Darren, I'm charging 1 Bitcoin, no matter how much it is. So the quicker they act, the lower the price they get because Bitcoin's increasing. I figured it's a good natural, built-in automatic, thing. So I'm going to do masterminds, and rather than doing masterminds where you do training, we're going to generate a bunch of money. I'm going to take the money. We're going to take a group of people and mastermind a $1 billion company together, right? And then find CEOs, find a way to get funding, and then launch company after 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 company, right? And so I think I could eventually start like a $1 billion company every 7 days like that. And it'd take a lot of work to get there and a lot of infrastructure and systems and people to get there. But I totally think we can do it. So Vitaly Dubinin will be our guest tomorrow, and I'll be asking him a bunch of questions about how to profit from digital currency and what he's doing in his business. And I want to give him a huge shout out for agreeing to do that because it's a crazy time, his time. So I might actually record that one and then broadcast it later. But I might pop on live just to make sure that it's working okay. So my thought is, first of all, where can somebody find you, Darren? Like, if they want to know, like, how do I find out more about Darren Little? Where would they look?
DarrenLittle.com. They can get info there about mentoring, coaching, some of the stuff that I do, and
okay.
Or they can just reach out on Facebook. Just send me a private message, and I'm happy to chat. Okay,
cool. So hit up Darren Little and connect with him. And I highly recommend his strategies for new people who are wanting to build their business and their brands on the internet. Looking forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow's show at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll be there again with Vitaly. And so give us a shout out. Share this on Facebook if it gave you value. And if you don't want to share it, don't share it. But again, this is something that I've been teaching people, and I'm not teaching it out of self-interest, okay? There's self-interest in it in the sense that I'm going to profit by you guys listening, right? But so will you, and this is the mutual self-interest thing that we've got going on. Like, a lot of people, they don't want to share other people's stuff, and the reason they don't is because they want their Facebook to be hogged to themselves, because they want the attention to only go to themselves, right? Well, that's like if you take, like, some money and you hoard it. And what happens when you hoard, Darren, to your money?
Not good.
Yeah, it goes away, right? You get less money, not more, by hoarding, because all that happens is if you bury it in your backyard, then you have inflation, and then your money's worth the last 5 years from now. It does nothing to hoard. Maybe if it's Bitcoin, right? You can hoard Bitcoin, but the reality is hoarding doesn't do anything. And so what you do is you don't share everything, but you share things that are valuable, things that give you value you want to share. So if this gave you value, you'd want to share this, right? If it didn't, then don't share it. I'm not asking for cheap shares, right? I want to give you guys value. But what you do is you share, and then what that happens, that helps you and me build a relationship, right? And I'm going to connect with leaders in the space, and I'm going to connect with people that are sharing my stuff, right? And so what happens, there's a mutual give and take, where what happens is I have this audience and you have that audience. Well, some of my audience is not attracted to me, but they might be attracted to you, for example, if I interviewed you on my show, right? So some of your audience is not attracted to you, but they might be attracted to me if we did some stuff together. Us working together might create a $1 billion idea, a $1 million idea, and maybe you'll get some ideas that will dramatically increase your sales and your marketing. I mean, who here got some ideas today that are going to make you millions of dollars. I mean, you can click like, you can click share, you can click yes, you can say yes, me, right, in the comments if you got some valuable ideas, right? So if you share my stuff, I'm much more likely to share your stuff. That means if you share my stuff, I'm going to see you more in my feed, right? I'm going to know who you are if you send me a conversation. That means I'm going to respond to you more quickly, right? And you're going to have more of my attention, as an example, with me than somebody who's not sharing my stuff. And eventually, I'm not going to threaten it on Facebook. I'm just because I'm just over this dumb Facebook strategies. But I'm going to hire somebody when I've got resources to do it, and I'm building the infrastructure and the team to just go manage my Facebook and delete all inactive people that aren't commenting on my stuff. And I'm not going to warn you. I'm just going to delete people that aren't commenting, sharing, and engaging. I'm just going to delete them, right? No warning. Why am I not going to warn it? Because I want to be unpredictable. So if you get deleted, you'll have to request back, and there's a big, long waiting list, and it's going to take a while. And I might make you apologize. I might make you pay to get back on my Facebook, right? So the reality is that's how it's going to be, because I'm not interested in dragging along old dead relationships, right? And so, like this, share it, give it a shout out on Facebook, and give Darren Little a shout out, and maybe even link to his profile or tag him, and give him a friend request. Okay, and if you want to learn some great strategies, you can go to darrenlittle.com. And those of you who are on here, if you haven't seen it, I did a broadcast earlier today on my $1 billion digital currency mastermind I'm going to do in December. I haven't chosen the dates yet, but it's coming up soon. It'll probably be like before or after Christmas. It'll be right around there. But New Year's is a great place to be in Costa Rica, right? It's fun. And so, but I'm doing this, and what we're doing, Darren, is people are gonna the chart. It's 1 Bitcoin for people that go. This can be 35% commissions. It's not going to be like atrocious commissions, because we got to get a place and stuff like this. I'm gonna have expenses, right? But what we're going to do is the people that come to that mastermind, they're actually going to own a percentage of the company that we launch if we launch a company together, right? So I'm going to have that in contracts when people come down. There'll be non-disclosures. There'll be non-competes, right? And the idea there is not to teach marketing strategies. The idea there is to think together in a group of people how to create a digital currency company that eventually winds up overthrowing the central banking system, which I probably shouldn't say anymore, right? So I got to tone down how much I talk about that, because those guys are mean, right? But what we'll do then is we take the group and we take strategies from each other, and then we take the strategies and we take the business plan, we make a business plan, then we generate some funding, some initial funding, right, from relationships and lists, then we generate crowdfunding from the relationship and list funding. Then we go to crowdfunding using internet marketing stuff that I know, right? We generate crowdfunding. Then we use that to hire a CEO, operations director. We start building infrastructure, right? And then what we do is we make a game plan to dominate the entire digital currency space and pass Amway in 2 years, right? Which I totally think we can do. So I'm doing that in December, and you guys can watch that. And we're getting the prices 1 Bitcoin for that, and the price is going up because Bitcoin's going up. It's my evil scheme. That's not evil. It's good. But it's real. It's real. The price is inflating because there's real inflation, right? So in any case, guys, you can look up the digital currency thing. Please watch that whole thing before you hit me up, and I'll be getting back to everybody tonight and tomorrow. I'll be sending you messages, those of you who have responded, and then I'll be letting people know as the spaces are selling out, right? And so anybody who's interested, feel free to hit me up. And that being said, this has been another episode of $1 Billion Comeback. Come back tomorrow for an interview with Vitaly Dubinin, the founder of the largest Bitcoin system right now on the internet, and I believe will end up being the most successful out of those systems. And so tomorrow we'll be back, and I'll be picking his brain about his strategies and how he's done what he's doing and edifying his community and the things that they've been building without interfering with it, because we want to respect them, right? And so come back tomorrow, and his strategies will work no matter what you're in. So come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time for an interview with Vitaly. Go ahead and end the broadcast, Jose.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
Well, we can stay on here. Let's just end the broadcast. Hold on. I'm going to stop recording now, or start a new recording. Cool.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I hope I gave you